All right, good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through the live order flow using Bookmap. And why order flow? With order flow, we can understand participants in the auction process. They can only participate with their orders. So understanding their behavior with their orders using the order flow gives us that edge, all right? A few news items. We have our ongoing Blue Jacket competition. You can earn or win up to $600 subscription value if you want to partake. Take a screenshot of Bookmap with a marked up chart of your setup, your content, your insights, and then upload it to Instagram, your X, or your LinkedIn with the hashtag #FreeBlueJacket, and you're in. You entered. That's it. All right. So. And you'll see it on the website. Bruce's pilot program will continue on with this for those of you who want to not only learn a setup, learn how to follow through and build an edge with it. Okay, so it's like a training program. We will work it and build an edge for yourself, and this is what most traders are lacking. That's what we do in this program. If you're interested, I'll put the link into the chat. And then Bookmap Academy. This is the process we go through for our Bookmap Academy. And it is very straightforward. So basically what we are doing is understanding the overall impetus of what's moving the market. That's number one. That's key. And without that, well, then we're just kind of, throwing darts without much experience or aim or knowing where it might go. Then once we understand that, then we can start to look at, well, what are our key levels on higher time frames? Where are we going to get a reaction by the market? It's really important to understand that as well, because just the impetus itself, yeah, that's great. But where do you want to deal? Where do you want to get involved? That's when you want to look at your higher time frame key levels and see how other traders are engaging around those areas. Then we start to build out our strategies and scenarios. Start to understand why it might go this way or that way. What are you looking for? You can be based off of volume or market profile. It could be, Fibonacci levels if you follow that, or it could be, just previous high, previous low, time of the day. Could be VWAP, whatever it is that you follow. Then it comes down to your setup. Okay, this is selecting the proper setup that goes along with the scenarios that you've outlined at your key levels and what's moving the market. So number 4, it comes down to your checklist. You should know your setup extremely well. There shouldn't be any question how to enter and how to manage it. You will know how to do that. You need to set this all up with 1, 2, and 3 here to get to number 4. Then you can determine the risk and the sizing. You grade that setup. Is it an A+? It is an A-? It is a C? How do you want to risk depending on that? And then we look at the order flow to execute. Okay, this is what gives us the insight. All right. Anyway, let's go through some disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look at the S&P and look at that right at 9:30. Boom. Right to the upside here in the S&P. Also the NASDAQ. Yeah, so, we have a lot of earnings coming out this week. There's not a whole lot of data coming out this week, but, earnings season kicking in. What do we have on at the before the bell? We have Tesla and IBM. IBM is after the bell on Wednesday. We have a whole slew of S&P 500 on Tuesday. General Motors, Coca-Cola, Netflix, some others, and yeah, Thursday, Ford, Intel, Blackstone after the bell, Procter and Gamble Friday. Anyway, it's really important here to understand, like, especially when we get into the Magnificent Seven. That's really where we want to, take a look at what's going on with the earnings, and we have a lot of tariffs information, as you guys know. We've looked at that. Let's look at our higher time frame in here on the daily. Okay, right here on the left-hand side, and you can see the. All right, you can see the move down. This was on Friday, October 10th, and then all last week we stayed within that whole range, going back and forth and back and forth. We covered it on Friday, all these different squeezes and people like, getting involved in the market and then getting squeezed the wrong way, and having price move against them, having them cover, having others dive into the market and then having it go the opposite way and squeeze them out. So today you can see the gap up on the hourly in the middle here. You can see us trading up into the key levels here. Okay, on the hourly. Now on the daily also too, like, we're just above, this was Thursday, October 16th, and then here's Wednesday. So, the market's looking pretty primed to trade up into this Wednesday high here at 67.65 or so, something like that, right? In here. 66, I don't know, whatever. That's the swing, and we're having pretty good momentum. We had a beautiful gap here, and a little back and forth here, but the momentum continues. So we're still looking for this to go higher until we see something else. All right, that's what we're seeing here in the higher time frames, all three in here. All right, so let's go back to Bookmap. Let's take a look here. Yep, you can see that momentum coming in right at 9:30. It was a big move. I thought pretty powerful here, and I mean, it's only 20 points, but it had a lot of volume behind it compared to the pre-market, and then we see the back and forth in here, and then the buyers coming right back in. All right, so looking for them to continue higher until we see something else. Now, this is what we want to look at in the order flow. So now we've gone through our higher time frame levels. We've gone through the market impetus. It looks like some earnings. We have some CPI later this week. Also manufacturing PMI later this week. But those are the bigger events. And then obviously tariffs. So geopolitical stuff, we do not know when that's going to happen. So we got to also understand that we can get some pretty wild swings in here based off of it could be a tweet from President Trump, or it could be some other thing from regarding tariffs, etc. All right, so that's the risk that we're taking in this environment. All right, so that's the impetus here. That's what's moving these markets. Now, what about the fundamentally, that is? What about technically? Well, we just went through the technical levels here, and to see us race up into these levels up in here makes good sense, and then maybe see it start to slow down a little bit also makes good sense. There's going to be some profit taking up here. There's going to be sellers up here. These are key levels, on the hourly, on the daily, on the 15-minute. So you can see here on the 15-minute this big, huge doji here, and like a shooting star, but we're still going higher, right? We're still going higher. We're back up. All right, so still looking for that to continue until we see something else. All right, so what is that something else? Well, we'd be looking for we see volume in here right now. I'm still looking for buyers to take it higher into 60, 64, 65. 66 was that higher time frame level we were talking about. Okay, so not until we see sellers come in or massive absorption with limit orders in here, and we don't see that right now. Okay, so we're going to get pullbacks along the way. We're going to trade into high liquidity like we are right now. We'll probably get some on the hook, and we'll pull back, into a range here, maybe back down to this 54 area, maybe further, and then still looking for this to go higher at this time. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. There's no reason to think differently at this time. We'll see if things change around and get everyone kind of on the hook, and maybe we see some selling coming in and retest some of these swings down in here. And we don't know, but this is what we see at the moment, and the volume is good up in here. Okay, this we're looking for that strength and those buyers here, the aggressive buyers, to move price higher. All right, let me see if there's any questions off the bat here. Morning, Mateo. A Harvey, you want to subscribe to Bookmap, but too many options, don't know how to specifically choose specifically. Yeah, well, it's up to you. If you're trading stocks and futures, you got to go with either global or global plus. The global plus, here, let me just take you to the website. Okay, so go to bookmap.com and then click on pricing here, and then under the packages here and pricing, you'll see there's this digital free version. It does connect to one cryptocurrency. You can read it all in here. This is the page here, the package comparison page. Okay, I'll put this into the chat for you and paste it in here. Okay, there you go. All right, so now yeah, the packaging, the packages here will tell you. You see the check mark in here, what you get. Okay, so read through it, see if what you like the best. You'll see the pricing down here at the bottom, and then how you want to go, and then just select one here and go through it. Okay, you can see it monthly, yearly, or lifetime license. Right now, the big difference between the two. Okay, you get all these different things in here, except for with Global Plus, you'll see the distinction. Back up here with the add-ons. Okay, that's where you're going to see the distinction. See this area in here? This is global right here, and you see the X. Okay, also the rest of them all have X's. Well, Global Plus does not, so you get the ability to trade from the chart. Okay, that's a big one. And then all these add-on indicators in here. You get included with Global Plus, okay, including footprint, Dome Pro, multi brackets, a whole bunch of different things in here. All right, so go through it and see what you like. You can always reach out to support@bookmap.com as well. All right, so we just traded up into that liquidity up here, and we're talking about a potential pullback. I was still looking for this to go higher until we see something different, and you're starting to see some clusters of buying now. I mean selling. So, where would we look for pullbacks to come? Let's just start lining these things up here, and we can look for below swings basically, and then we're looking for acceptance or rejection in these areas here. Now, this area is already rejected. It's starting to reject right now. Okay, so let's see if we can get this here. So we came back down into the swing here, a little bit below it. There's a swing here, and there's a swing here. Yeah, I'm going to go through these small swings in here, and we're going to look at the order flow within it here. Okay, I think that might be helpful for you guys. So I see more sellers coming in here. Let's see now. This is what I would look for. We're already down to that. It's already traded through. Okay, so we're going to look for this 6750 level here. Are we going to see this as support down here? Are we going to accept above it or not? Okay. What was I going to say? I was going to say there's even for trading as life, you know, you can kind of look at this as almost it's a low volume pullback. It's not the best, but you know, here's the selling in here. Let's look at this in here. This cluster of selling here, here's the buying right here, right? It's not a whole lot. Okay? And then we start to see this selling roll in here. I would look for it to test down to this 67.50. Okay, now we didn't even get that. It came one tick shy of it. Yeah, we got 11 contracts that traded at 67.50 and a quarter. Okay, never even came back down here. Right, so anyway, we'll go over more and more about this low volume pullback, guys, and implement it, integrate it within the pilot program. All right, so this too, right now, this is a low volume pullback. Okay, and what am I talking about? Well, look at this. We're looking for the impulse moves in here. Okay, the stronger moves. Okay, and in the time frames that we're looking at now, we're not looking at these other time frames, these higher time frames in here, because if we were, we'd still be bullish in here. All right, but we're looking at this time frame, and it's really this move here followed by this one here. Okay, so we can see that there's sellers. Okay, so we're looking for, are there buyers coming back in? No, not much at all. Okay, so that's the low volume, and that's the pullback here. And how did that pullback work out? Where did it go? It didn't even come back up into these swings up in here. Okay, so there's more sellers than buyers right now. So we look for, in this case, it traded into high liquidity, some liquidity here at 54, and then it's kind of back and forth in here right now. Okay. We're looking for sellers here to pick up. We're looking for exhaustion or absorption in here. Okay, what do I mean by absorption? Well, it means that these limit sell orders are here, okay, and they're going to stop price from moving up. And there's more sellers, passive sellers than buyers. The next thing we could look for is exhaustion here, a lack of buying, okay. And then we look for the aggressive sell. Now that's a lack of aggressive sellers. I'm sorry, buyers. And then we look for the red dots to pick up down here. Right. So these are the scenarios you look for this low volume pullback in here. Okay. Now even this move here. Okay. Well, you know, starting to see a little bit more. All right. But let's see if we get sellers below this little area right there. Looking for the sellers. Okay, now looking for the sellers to drive it down to here and here into 67.50. All right, and we'll see. But now it's not this is not a great setup in here. I got to let you know that. But we're kind of looking at and understanding who's moving the market, and who's kind of this context between the aggressors in here and the passive orders in here. Okay, and right now it's kind of back and forth in here. I wanted to see more sellers right here, right down here at this swing, okay, and then for them to move it back down here. Okay, and we're not getting that right now. Okay, so we're seeing it kind of back and forth in here. And this is going to be interesting here. We got high liquidity right here, 125 contracts. Let's see, do they transact? Okay, so yeah, we see the transaction take place. Okay, so we see some buyers coming in. Interesting. All right, so now do we get follow through by those buyers? Okay, up here, starting to. Okay, yeah, starting to get them. All right, now let's see, do we get them up above this swing up in here? Okay, looking pretty good. All right, now let's see them if they can carry it up into 60 now. Okay, so there was a low volume pullback in here. It was. Okay, and then we're looking for another, you know, we got it, then we're looking for another in here, and it was lining up, but we didn't find our sellers here take it down. Okay, there's still more sellers here. It's just here is where it failed. See if there's any questions. Good morning, Trading is Life. Shark, Dan, Steven, Alois. All right. Robert S. Great work, Robert. You're doing really great. Yep, keep it up. You're on the right path. All right, I'm going to continue on with this low volume pullback, I think. And let's put this into context, though. Again, this is during this webinar, and we're going to see what we can see. But we really want to understand, like the simple ones are where we just know there's an impulse move, and there's, you know, what brought price back was very little volume, and we see it roll over again with more sellers coming in. On the low volume pullback, there's a few different things you can look for. Look at this one here, for example. Okay, now this one here, in fact, it didn't give you much at all, but there is a low, this is the low volume, this is the high volume here, this is the low volume here, and you can also look at many different things in here, like right here at 6750. Look at the low volume node. Okay, this is different than, you know, talking about the low volume. When I'm talking about the low volume pullback, I'm talking about this buy volume compared to this sell volume. All right. Good morning, aesthetics. All right. Shark is helping you. That's great. Yeah. Thank you, Shark. You are on the right path. I've also seen you, Robert. But we'll get more into it very soon. I promise. Because you know, I've got the green light to take this out of pilot program now. All right, so we can build this out now, and I have to come up with some more onboarding materials for you guys, and then is game on. We're going to hit it hard in the pilot program. I'm going to rename it as well. I need to. Anyway, so the move back up into a low volume node where price rejected, it cut through here very, very quickly. Okay, and accepted down here, and this is the pullback. Right, and then we get the move down. Here's your exhaustion right here. Okay, so there's nuances to already look at in here, and like I said, we either look for in fact, we can get both. We can get absorption on one leg and then exhaustion on the next one up in here, and then you get the cluster of sellers in here. Look at the buying here. None. Okay, very little. Okay, there is some. Then selling. Okay, sellers got it. Even the pullback here. This is a micro low volume pullback right here. More sellers. Looking for the sellers to take it down to the previous swing here and take some off. Okay, now typically we look for continuation, but the way to reduce the risk here is just to take it down to here. Okay, the swing, okay, right here, and then take some off. Typically, though, the way the low volume pullback will work is you'll get the continuation move like this. Okay, and you would start targeting your high liquidity down here. Now, just to hit the single, though, reduce some risk, take some off at the swing. And then in this case, like it would have served you well, you would have been, you know, either stopped out on the remainder at break even or overall break even, or maybe you got all out down here. And built some confidence on that. All right. Anyway, let's go back into it here. Okay, so here we go. All right, so now let's go back to, here's our momentum coming back in. All right, so we're looking for the swing here, 67. Okay, it's just up here, 66, 67. All right, trading into high liquidity. There we go. Okay, now typically after trading into high liquidity like this, we're looking for a pullback. Okay, I don't know if we're going to get it quite yet. There's still more momentum here, more aggressive buyers than there are limit sell orders. Okay, 150 contracts up here at 65. Let's see what happens there. And what is our 66, 67 up in here is the swing, right? All right, let's see if we can find a little more barrage of buying. If not, I'd look for the pullback into, well, the first level is right here at 62, which is just about there. And then the next one would be down, yeah, I mean, kind of where it broke out from, or maybe the swing down here. So, you know, somewhere maybe this kind of 58.5 to 57. Now the liquidity is there at 58. Let's see if I can find another, some kind of funny example for you guys regarding the low volume pullback in here. Now, this is not low volume right now, right? I mean, we're going to do this comparison and we look at this volume here. To this volume here, right? It's not so low. Okay, so now let's determine, like, you know, we can put on cumulative volume delta, for example. We can look at our order book and balance. We can put it within the chart range in here and look at this in here. And see how the buyers just came in pretty hard there. Okay, so let's take stops and icebergs off for the moment and look at just cumulative volume delta. Yeah, so strong buying, pretty strong selling though too. Bit stronger buying than selling, but not by much. So not really seeing much. And looking for this profile to start to build out some more here. Right in here. Okay, see. Boy, guys, just nothing. Really not seeing anything here. Okay, it's just not clear. And when it's not clear, we just stay away. Maybe we'll go back and look at maybe a few other low volume pullbacks in here. That might make some good sense. I mean, here's one here that's pretty clear. Can you guys see this from this? Even from, well, let's zoom in there a little bit. Okay. I think there was a question about a flag pattern being a low volume pullback, and yeah, absolutely. Like this would be one in here, basically. And in fact, this is kind of turning into, as you can see, you know, like maybe shoulder, head, and then shoulder. But look at the let's look at the structure in here, and you'll see this structure. It just repeats it all the time, and so we want to be on the buy side over here, and we're looking for those buyers to carry this up into high liquidity on the offer. Okay, so again, it's understanding the impulse move and then the pullbacks. Okay, so let's just zoom in here, and yeah, pretty good selling coming in here, but pretty good buying coming right back out, right? So that's not it. That's not what we're looking for. Okay, now in here, okay, so here, look at all of this buying in here and compare it with this in here. Okay, so look at the volume delta bars. This is a really good tip-off. I find is the volume delta bars. Obviously, that's going to be divergent, and you can kind of see this creeping up here. It's not that divergent, really, but you can see the volume divergence in here. Okay, and you can see that there's very little selling compared to the buying, even in this area in here. All right, so that's when we start to look for those buyers to come back in, and that's your flag pattern right there. Okay, and there's the move up into this high liquidity there. Okay, here's another one. Here's a pullback. Now there's more volume on this one in here. Okay, so it's not quite as clear, but it is a pullback in here. Right, and then we see the buy volume really start to pick up again in here. Okay, so yeah, we would look for it to trade into and then potentially through and break out and come up into this 35 area. We can look at a measured move in here. Okay, so something like this, and take that, and somewhere around 40, maybe 35 to 40. Okay, high liquidity, and then everything changes up here at the cash open. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't want to confuse you guys in the pilot program, especially like you know, what are we looking for down at this bottom edge in here in these areas? Well, we're looking for a pullback, and we're looking for low volume. Now we have that, but where might it go? Well, there's a few different things to look at. We can look at the low volume nodes in here where it did not accept, so we would look for this to reject again here on the pullback. Look for buyers to come in. We can look at these swings in here as well. We can also look at high volume nodes here. Now this high volume or this high volume dot here, you can see it's still very low volume in the bigger picture here. Okay, so these areas can be really good for pullbacks. Now it could pull back as far as here or even here, and you can still be bullish on that, okay, if there's not too much sell volume. Okay, so this becomes a range. This impulse move becomes a range, and then we want to see what happens within that range. Now using that range, you can look at like a 50% level as well. Okay, now I don't like fibs. I used to trade them all the time, and then just seems so random. It's going to hit one fib level at some point. So how do you determine it, and then who's looking at what swing, and then who's reacting to it? So in the bigger scheme of things, I wasn't looking at those levels. I like to look at the levels though where maybe there's multiple confluences. That makes pretty good sense to me. Or if you're going to be looking at something like VWAP that everyone else is going to be looking at as well. Okay? So the same VWAP, that's the key, because moving averages, for example, who's looking at what on what time frame? And it's all over the place. I don't know how you can gauge. I can't gauge any clarity off of it. It's going to hit one of those moving averages at one point, and you're going to be right. Okay, that's why I like to look at the market structure. All right, so I divvy it up in terms of market structure, but a pullback of halfway makes pretty good sense to me. You can see right in here, it makes good sense as well. There's some market structure in here to take a look at. That's what I like to follow, and then look at the order flow around that market structure. So market structure, then the limit orders, and the context between the limit orders and the aggressive orders, okay, within the market structure. That's it, over and over and over again. Okay, so you can look at even your divergences in here. Now this is slightly divergent. Okay, it's kind of slowly going up in here. Okay, now, and how do we gauge that in here? Okay, well, it made a lower low in here, but this is higher here. Okay, slightly lower low below this swing, but it's higher in here. It's because of this volume in here, right? So I would like to take this and not worry about divergence for CVD, but understand that it auctioned up here. In this structure in here, it auctioned up in here, and then it went away from that area and it came back to it. And how did it come back into it? Well, I see more volume again in here. Great. Okay, we get another pullback, but now do I see any selling down there? No. Okay, once we start to see the volume back up in here, I'm looking for the push through back up to this swing up in here, or you can start to look at a measured move of 100%, okay, of the range, and create a new range. Okay, now I like to line that up with liquidity. Okay, so I'd be looking at 67, 25, and 26, and that looks pretty good to me. All right, and why I like to look at the measured moves in here is also, it makes good sense to me when you talk about market structure. Okay, so what do I mean by that? That there's only so much buying pressure. If you guys look at your market internals, okay, a lot of people look at their market internals, like the ticky, the advancer decliners, all of these different internals. And there's only so much pressure before the tick, and there's only so much pressure before the market kind of has to kind of exhaust out. You get extreme readings on some of that, and then the market takes a break. Okay, it's like sprinting really, really fast, and then it kind of has to take a break, and then you see this kind of chop for a while before that that buying or that selling can resume again. Okay, the market's kind of quiet down for a bit, and then someone starts moving it again. right? So I look for the same move to unfold, and that's the measured move. Okay. Now, I would also look for the same amount of volume, something similar in here for that impulse move. Okay, we might not get it. In fact, we get less volume in here compared to this move here. Okay, so it doesn't come up as high. Anyway, again, we're talking about context in here and starting to understand the orders in here. But anyway, market structure is key. Okay, understand your market structure and understand the order flow within your market structure. Low volume pullback. Let's take this as a case in point. I would love to, I think I'll jump over to the NASDAQ to find this for market structure. Okay, we've covered it many times, but look at this stop run here. Okay, big move to the upside. Here's the first selling after that move. Is this one contract? Hold on a minute. Yeah, this is one contract. Okay, I know that in the lower left-hand corner, or you can use this tool here and hover over the dot, and it says volume of 1. Okay, how much is over here? 25, 24. This is 2, 9, 5. Okay, so you can see that we're up like 60, 70, contracts, whatever, just in this little area here. One contract move price from here, from 25,298 back down to 25,296. So 2 full NASDAQ points with one contract. How is that possible? Well, because there's after this big stop run here, there's no more buying. And look at the spread in here. So it's all about the spread. The last transaction where the best bid was updated was up to here at 296. Right? So once you get one aggressor to sell here, they just move with one contract, they move it 2 points, 8 ticks. Right? That's your low volume pullback. It's the same idea. Okay? So we're looking for this to unfold, and then we're looking for buyers to come back in. And then we're looking for those buyers to take it back higher. All right? Does this make sense to you guys? We're getting into the micro. This is truly microstructure. This is one of the best demos I find. Again, we've been showing it for years, but I think it really exemplifies what you're looking for a low volume pullback. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Because we're going to look for this. That helps. Okay, all right, Shark. Because we're gonna look for this. You could scalp this thing all day long if you wanted to. Now, you have to be careful, of course, but I mean, this is not a tradable event here. It's just the spread doesn't narrow out or anything like that. Until back up here, you can't really trade this one. But the low volume pullback, you can. All right, so because it's multiple contracts and it's the same principle, it's the same concept, but it happens on higher time frame. Okay, so there's just more contracts in here. I'm convinced, I'll take it a step further. I am convinced that all of this on the daily chart, on the monthly chart, it does not matter. It is all order flow on just different time frames. All right, so I think you can extrapolate something like this in this kind of micro event in here. We're down at millisecond levels in here. It's not that low a time frame, but thousands of seconds here, and you can see what's happening, and you can see the updates. Okay, and you can take this idea and apply it also to like a monthly chart. On a monthly chart, let's suppose it's like earnings from like fantastic earnings from Nvidia. You're going to get this on the huge, on a small and a huge time frame, like maybe a daily or a weekly, and then you're probably going to see some chop after that, and then it will go again higher. Okay? And that is the flag pattern as well. It's the low volume pullback, flag, whatever. It's a continuation that we're looking for. Yeah, so okay, let's take it further and let's look at it on a lower time frame, or I'm sorry, a little bit higher time frame. Okay, same idea. Okay, so do we want to look at NASDAQ as a question? It's just nutty. We're going to see more examples in here. All right, let's see here. All right, so I'd look for a breakout here. Maybe we can break out up into this 310 here. Let's see. Okay, and then a pullback. And then a continuation here. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, so yeah, there we go. All right, now let's see another pullback in here. Okay, now we don't know. I mean, maybe there's still more buyers that take it higher, but we will get a pullback at some point. All right, so let's see. This might be it here. Okay, is it low volume? Yeah. Okay, starting to look pretty good. Okay, now did it auction up in here? Not much. I don't like that. See, what we're looking for it to auction off in here, so we don't see sellers trying to drive it the other way. Yeah, this has gotten convoluted to this point. It's not working. Okay, too much selling. All right, so this is turned into chop. Okay, there's some good selling. There's a pullback. Now this would be your low volume pullback here if we don't get buyers, and you can see we're still getting buyers. We'll find examples, and it does it again and again. I mean, maybe we should find some examples on the in hindsight and then take it forward here. I mean, this is really kind of all over the place, right? This is kind of what we saw on Friday. So this is our kind of under over line, right? You see stop run down below, this kind of down into 300, below 300, and then it's come up and bounced back off of 300. This is a different structure in here. Okay, so let's see here if we get it here. Okay, low volume pullback. It's not really low volume again, right? We know what we're looking for. Okay, and this is chop. And there's some strong buying. Okay. All right, and let's see if we get. It's very low volume in this little area in here. Boy, it's really not setting up too nicely here, to be honest. We want to see that impulse move really define the movement, okay, especially outside of a range. Let's see, aesthetics does a rebid or reoffer with absorption validate or invalidate a low volume pullback. because within a trend there could be 2 to 3 low volume pullbacks. Right? Yeah, that's true. So no, it didn't really use the ES for this DNT. We've been looking at the Nasdaq here. Yeah, absorption is fine within a like like here. This is pretty good in here. Here you can see it absorbed most of that selling pressure. Okay, we're or buying pressure. But look at the pullback in here, and this did it. Now this is kind of convoluted in here. It's not really what we're looking for. We'd have to kind of zoom in and maybe this is what we're looking for, but then we'd look for the continuation here, right? So it came all the way back down. Now this is on lower volume in here, okay? And then the buyers come back in again, and then we get the buying up and through that area. Okay, so yeah, here we go again, and now looking for buyers to take this higher now too. Okay, so back to the swing. Okay, take some off, and then look for 325. Yeah, I like this one. We've got the order book underneath us here as well. Okay, now we just look for those aggressive buyers up in here. And we're not finding them. Now, this is why guys, I started off with the trend line break and accumulation. A lot of reasons. You're going to see the same thing here, trend line break and accumulation here, but you're not going to get the absorption in here. You're not going to see 3 layers of liquidity getting filled in here. Okay, you'll get maybe 1 layer, and you might get nothing. There's no selling. It exhausts out, and then you get a nice continuation move. Okay, so it's different, and it makes sense though. Why does it work? Is because what we're leaning on at that point is not the accumulation passively here. We're going with the aggressors, and we're going with the impulse move as what is defining the move. All right, I hope that makes sense, because that's what we're leaning on here. So we're waiting for like this to kind of calm down, pull back, and then ramp up again. Okay, this thing is just right now it's not trending. Okay, it's kind of all over the place. It's like I said, it's kind of this under over, right? You can see the line right here. Getting people stopped out, moving the other way, getting people accumulated down here, come down to the bottom of the range, break it, come back up, and then go through this 17 level, and then retest from the other side, right? See it do something like that, right? So it's a different thing. What we're looking for is it to be trending. And then we're looking for that low volume pullback. We're looking for these aggressors to define it. Okay, here we go. There's your low volume pullback right there. Now let's see the sellers hit it again here. Okay, we need to see that impulse move, and then we need to see it happen again. Impulse move, low volume pullback, impulse move. Okay, yeah, again, this one failed. Yeah, I mean, it did break the low here, and it came right back up. Okay, we're looking for this pullback continuation. And now, like I said, we got some of it, and that's why I recommend taking some off at the bottom of the range. I don't see aggressors taking the wheel in this time frame right in here. I mean the buyers. Yeah, I'm seeing sellers. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, aesthetics. So again, I'm looking for, less buying back up into here and selling to roll in again. Now, this is chop really in this area here. Just trying to find some good examples in here. I mean, we can find them if we go in, if we just really dive into smaller time frames. But I'm trying to find something that is a little more applicable on a higher time frame. Like this here is not bad at all. Okay, so impulse move, this chop back and forth, impulse move, pull back, impulse move again. Okay, so there's a few in here. This is your flag pattern in here. Here's another one here. Okay, now what do you note in this that's different? Very different. This is trending. Okay, there's no question buyers are in control in this. Okay, and then we've been looking at it back and forth in this area in here, and it's just not too clear to me. Okay, what about our key levels? Okay, where are we here? Okay, we're on the ES, at least we're above 65. That's what we were looking for as a retest back up in here, and we're above it. It's come up to like 75. All right, it's 11 o'clock and East Coast time here, 11:30. We've got the European close. Okay, you want to narrate the ES in here on this? Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. I mean, hindsight, guys, as you know, it's easy. Everything looks great, but I'll have some replay files for you guys soon, and we'll build this out on the low volume pullback. Okay, in the meantime, I can take you to the Learning Center, and if you go to bookmap.com and click on the education here, that'll take you to the Learning Center. We updated some of the banners in here. So small caps, large caps, and futures with JTrader, options with Brandon, icebergs, the supply and demand, of course, the main elements on the Bookmap chart. Okay, so let's go here. That'll scroll us or take us to the supply and demand in here. Low volume pullback is here. Okay, and watch this video here. All right. So, yeah, in hindsight, let's take a look at this on this trend here. All right. I mean, there's no question about the strength of this move. This is your low volume pullback. Okay, clearly. And look where it went, right? It went down to that swing, and then it got kind of messy in here, and it came back again to test here as well. Yet again, though, I know this is very tricky, I think, and this is after the kind of opening drive, and you see a reversal pattern here, which it did do, right? But in the bigger scheme of things, this impulse move is super strong. And look at the volume on the sell side in here compared to over here. Okay, so you can look again for a break, look for that volume to come in on the buy side, and get your continuation move. Okay, and you get another one here. Okay? Look at the volume in here compared to this volume in here. Okay? And where might it go? Well, you can look at the swing. And then you can look at again for a break of structure. Now, it doesn't have to be diagonal. You know, you can look at a horizontal structure right in here, and there's volume above it. So, and a lot on the buy side. We look for the continuation move up into the swing and the liquidity levels. Okay, so and this is a beauty, I think. Now it retraced though all the way down, right, all the way down to here. Okay, so it looks like a beauty. Now let's take a look at the volume though in here. This doesn't look like a low volume pullback to me. There's a lot of volume in here. In fact, it looks like there's more selling. I would miss this one. Okay, it looks beautiful though. Okay, the buyer's in control moving it here, but there's a lot of sellers here coming back in. It's really about the context of that volume. Sellers could have taken it down, and they just kind of dried up. And look at the volume in here that took it back up. It's very a little volume in here. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, here's our impulse move. Here's our pullback, and we're looking for sellers. Again, I don't really like it. This is not so low volume in here. Structurally, though, it's still within the impulse move. That is true. You're looking for, you would like to see more hindsight narration. Okay, that's fine. No problem. I mean, that's easy. You know, the well, then we'll come up with the replay files for you, DNT. So and then you know we'll take that hindsight narrative into the replay files. But guys, I mean, just you'll look. This is why we're going through it in the training program, the pilot program, is the impulse moves, and then the low volume pullback, just like we did on that very small time frame. We showed that in the NQ, and then again more selling starting to come in. Now I don't really see it yet, right? They're breaking it, and we got the potential to break down here with sellers coming in. Okay, but yeah, it's just not, it's not really that clear. Look, stay away from it. If it's not clear, stay away from it. As simple as that. It's got to be clear. It's got to be a good example. Else, you know, we're just throwing money at it, just darts at the dartboard. Okay, and that's what we want to avoid. Less trading, better trading. Okay, clarity. We know what we're doing. And that's why we use that repeat or replay and build reps using the replay. Okay, all right, so let's see here. Oh, this is what I wanted to cover. Once you know you really like, I think I've seen it with a lot of you guys. In fact, Robert, you're starting to see these details in here, and you're seeing it right. All of you guys are, many of you in the pilot program. Those of you who I see posting are seeing a lot of these nuances in here, and you guys are getting it at such a accelerated pace. It's really great. Such an accelerated pace. So for example, think about even this double bottom in here. We're looking for heavy selling down here. Well, I don't see it. right? If I get buyers on the other side here, this is a double bottom. This is exhaustion here. So in fact, it's kind of like, like almost like this is the impulse move. This is your low volume pullback. Now do we get buyers back in here? Okay. Does that make sense? I mean, like, it's just about context we're talking about in here. So in that case, we're looking for buyers above this structure in here now. Okay, can we get buyers back up above this structure? Okay, because I'm not seeing sellers down here. And now they may come in, but if we get a buying cluster back up in here, it would start to look pretty good to come back up and revisit the highs of the day. Okay, and we're just smack dab in the right in the middle of this little range in here between 69 and 71. And not seeing much. Okay, now we're starting to see sellers pick it up. Okay, so we should, if the sellers pick it up right down here, that they should be able to break this. Okay, and they've got a little bit of fuel here. That buyers got it wrong, so I would look for a stop run into 68 or 67 here. And let's see if we can even get a measured move out of it, maybe. Okay. Now we're at the bottom of the range here, so maybe buyers will come in all of a sudden and trap the sellers, right? But anyway, this is what I'm talking about here. We get the sellers in here, then we can get the move back down. All right. One thing I want to step back and mention here is about the key levels in here. Okay, we're not really looking at key levels, right? So we're looking at some of these levels in between a lot of price action. Okay, now it will work even on smaller time frames, but your reward is going to be a lot more muted. Okay, but typically you'll see it. The question is, do you want to trade it? Okay, and I would recommend waiting, stepping back, look for your higher time frame levels. Okay, again, in here, here's your retest back here. I don't see too many buyers, right? I'm seeing more sellers. Okay, there's our exhaustion. Okay, now we're looking for sellers right here at 69.25, and they should be able to, if they can show some size here, you should be able to break this range and trade back down into this liquidity. And that's what we'd be looking for. Okay, now the opposite would be back up at this range and lots of buyers like we were looking for earlier. Okay, sellers, let's see it. Looking for the break into 68 and 67. Okay, great. All right, so now I would be taking some profit there. Okay, on this trade in here, for this time frame, I would be taking profit. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Does it have more room to go? Yeah, sure. It could. They could sweep the book. We could see sellers come in and sweep the book down to 64, 65 here. But for this move in here, that's all we were looking for. You'll see, like in the low volume pullback in here, we're looking at a higher time frame. Okay, and it is yeah, we see a range in here. Hold on, let me see where it was. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so yeah, this range in here is where we broke out from on heavy selling. Okay, then we see a pullback. This was it here. Yeah, and we're looking for it. That's right, down into it did the measured move, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so anyway, this is much higher time frame, as you guys can see, but the concepts are the same. And here look at how it chewed through that area in here very, very quickly. Very low volume nodes in here. They totally rejected. We didn't even revisit into that area here. And then you see their divergence in here as well. Again, just more selling than there is buying coming back up. Yeah, see how we got. Actually, this is not a bad example here on a. It is smaller time frame. Maybe we can look at the Nasdaq. It might be a little bit better. Actually, this was pretty nice. So this happens a lot. In fact, it happened even in this this move here. The bigger impulse move started way up here. And then this kind of turned into almost a wedge pattern, basically, and then continuation. So basically, here is the impulse move, and this turned into a wedge in here. And then another impulse move, low volume pullback, impulse move, low volume pullback. Not really low volume. It's low volume here on the pullback part, but you see the buyers here. Okay. And then we do get the continuation move though. Yeah, this is odd here. Okay. But this one's pretty nice right in here. Okay, this is where, you know, if you were in that trade, you took your profit and you saw another one and you saw it down here, you can look for that continuation move and trend. All right, now the beauty of looking at low volume pullback is it'll work on any way of trading as well. Okay, so if you're trading with your profiles, great. If you're trading with, like I said, maybe retracements or maybe you're on a higher time frame, you're using like pivot levels or something. You know, you'd look for the pullback into those areas. Okay, the concept's always the same. Big impulse move, a pullback, followed by another impulse move. All right, let me get to questions. Over on YouTube. Yep. All right. Thanks, Alois. Yeah, give Global Plus a try, Harvey. I think you will, you know, play around with the indicators and add-ons as well as trade from the chart. Robbie is asking, is the pilot program an academy to learn trading with a specific setup and money management apart from education videos? There are very few videos on it. It's more about you doing the replay files and you will cover it in your trading journal as well. Okay, so that's what it's about. right? There's a whole process to it. So if you're interested, yeah, I highly recommend it. I think this is what's really lacking from a lot of traders, is the we all understand these concepts of, setups. You can go watch a million setups on YouTube and understand them all perfectly. But can you go back and trade it? Okay, and usually what I see a lot of retail traders do is they'll just go back and start trading it, and then they'll have some losses and say it doesn't work, and they'll move on to the next one. Instead, what we're saying is stick with this one and get really good at it, right? And become an expert in it. And you're going to use replay mode, and you're going to be able to speed up your replay mode very quickly to go through many instances of it. And you can trade it. Okay, instead of doing this tedious back testing, you're actually going to be trading it. So you're going to be gaining experience through that. And then you will do as well as you will capture it in the trading journal. Here, let me show you a few of the trading journals here. Like here's DNT. He's moved on. He's moved on into the forward testing, but he took basically 34 trades in here. Okay, the minimum we want is at least 20 in replay mode, he understood the concept of it really well. He refined his process in here, and then he can go on to the forward testing. Okay, and you'll capture the data in here, as well as you're going to mark up your charts, and you're going to make a playbook for yourself in here. Okay, so you're going to use the notes in here. DNT has some great markups in here, what he's looking for, within the setup. Okay, so now he's built this experience, right? And all his trades are marked up in here. Now what that means is he's making this his own. And then he's going to be able to go back and identify when this unfolds, and he'll be prepared. He'll know how to manage it. He'll know how to take it, to enter, and to exit, and move stops. All right, and that's a big distinction between what we see with others with their education. You will have to put in the work and mark up your charts, but we have a community. You'll get feedback. Okay, post your charts in the pilot program room, and you guys are going to get a lot of feedback. That's a big part of it. Community is a big part of it. Yeah, here's what Robert posted here, and Robert's new to the program, he's starting to, it started to kind of unfold in a different way. Robert, I need to take a look at more of your journal, but this is what I mean by some of the nuances in here. He's number one here is he's looking for that passive accumulation. Okay, he got it here, right? Well, actually, the trade would be in here then, he'd be looking for it here. Now it came back down and hit one more time, but look what he did. This is a nuance. He's got, okay, 1, 2, and then passive liquidity down here, but this never traded down here, but this traded again. So this is kind of an interesting one. You've got limit buy orders 1, 2, 3, okay, and here again 3, okay, or this one down here doesn't look like it traded, right? But if you go over here, it actually doesn't look like it traded either. But this is where he's looking for his structure break and his entry. Okay, now this is a nuance in here, but once you start to really get it down, you'll see these things all over the place. And then look what he did. He took his single here, profit target. It was 40 ticks, and back to the top of the range in here. It doesn't even look like it went against him. at all. All right, so here's a stop here. Okay, now he got out of this really quickly. It worked immediately, and he got out. Okay, move on to the next one. He's got his, up here, you can see he's got his checklist. This is, all these materials are provided for you. And you know, the replay files too. Now it looks like this is not a replay file. This is the live market. Okay, so he's in the forward testing mode. Okay, hope that answers your questions. Badman, how can I help you with your swing trading? Same way. Look at your higher time frames in here. Okay, on the hourly, on the daily. You know what's happening up in these levels up in here. Okay, after this big, you know, pretty strong move. Look at your higher time frame liquidity and your levels. Okay, so there still might be a little more gas in the tank in this move here. Okay, it's, you know, almost 11:30 now, but you know, we can see this kind of chop around for a few more hours, and then end of the day, if you start to see this volume start to pick up in here and come back up here again, you'd look for not only 67.80, you'd look for maybe 6,800. Okay. Now there's also this new version of Bookmap. You can zoom out, and here, let's just let's do that here. Okay. So this is a production version of Bookmap, and with the ES from Bookmap data, I'm able to zoom out and see several days of data in here, weeks of data. Okay, this is the weekend here where there's no data. All right, you can put a candlestick chart on it as well. This is a daily. It will be, or we can look at a weekly. Okay, so yeah, so you know, I'm still seeing buyers, and if these buyers on this time frame here, well, it looks like it really wants to, you know, trade back up into where it dropped from here from the tariffs. Okay, and just up here to all-time highs at just above 6,800. Anyway, all right, guys, let's see if there's any more questions. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it should work with 7.6, Eloise. 7.7 will be released soon, I believe. Yeah. I'm in 7.6, right? And I'm able to zoom out. Now, it's maybe just because you're looking at rhythmic data, you won't get this, but with Bookmap data, we do. So try that. Anyway, all right, guys. So we'll continue on. I'll have a lot more for you regarding the you know, pilot or training program, and we'll get into some details very soon. I just keep getting distracted and taken away from being able to provide more onboarding tools for you guys. Once I have that, then it's like all systems go. Okay, like I said, to hit it hard, and let's get really good at some of these you know, setups, and this will massively improve your understanding of order flow, and then you can look at and trade your own setups. Okay, once you get the process down, you don't have to rely on you know, some of the setups we provide. You can start cutting your own replay files as well. You know, that's possible. It's all open. but it's about the process, right? We will provide it, but you know, you guys will you know, have a really nice structure for back testing and building out and training, and build that edge so that when you take the trade, you know what to do, or when the trade presents, you know what to do, you know how to manage it, you know how to get out, you know how much risk you want to put on, etc. But we just want to hit singles for now, meaning we just want to make a little bit of money right now, okay, and build confidence, and that's the goal for right now. Okay, once you guys do that, then we can start to look at scaling in, scaling out, or scaling up in size as well. Okay, so anyway, it's I think it's a great program. I think you guys will really become experts in it. Okay, and we've got a great community to help it out as well. Let's see, any last minute questions here? Let's see here. Is Bookmap data a lot different from Ninja level 2 data? Yeah, vastly different. They don't offer market by order data, Joe. So, you know, to look at stops and icebergs, and also look at there's kind of details in here, like full depth of market. See, if I zoom vertically, there's 100, and you know, up at 6,800, there's 169 contracts up there. This is live. Okay, that is 30 points away, not ticks, points. It's 120 points or ticks away. Sorry, and you know, that's pretty good. You won't see that in a lot of other platforms. All right, guys. Let's see. Is pilot program training too foul? I do not understand what you mean. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming, everyone. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, and do it again, and dive in deeper and maybe find some better examples. Was really kind of looking for some good examples. We didn't really find too much. This one, and then maybe this one in here is pretty nice, and then it got a little convoluted down in here. I didn't like it, and I wouldn't have taken it. But all right, guys. Yeah. All right, McLoco. Great to see you in here. Anyway, take care, everyone, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye bye.